What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Going to be starting off today's video with a giveaway for one of my very lucky Patreon subs. And I want to take a quick moment to shout out everybody who supports me on Patreon. Y'all are amazing and have helped the growth of this channel exponentially over the course of the last year. Y'all rock. Really appreciate all that you do for the growth of Tricky Jim and myself as a content creator. I think that if you look at my videos a year ago compared to where they are today, we've really come a very long way. So as a special thanks to you all, I'm going to be giving away a copy of Misty's Determination. Coming out the sleeve there. One copy of Misty's Determination signed by the voice actress for Misty from the Pokemon anime, first 8 seasons, Rachel Lillis. Super dope piece here. I got to meet her at PokeCon last year. It was a lot of fun. She's also the voice actress for Jigglypuff, as well as Jessie from Team Rocket. Also going to be giving away 2 packs of evolutions to the winner there. And maybe you could pull your very own Misty's Determination full art card. And without further ado, the winner of the signed Rachel Lillis Misty's Determination is Matthew Simpson. Matthew Simpson, you are the winner. Thank you for your support on Patreon. You rock. Now let's get to that Venusaur gameplay. So we've got this Venusaur deck here. It features Celebi and Venusaur GX Tag Team. Now, I was not a believer in this deck at first, but streamed this on Twitch the other day. Got to try out the list. One of my awesome subs suggested this deck to me, and I decided to give it a try, and it's amazing. So, tried this deck out. This is a Japanese list. I think it did well at some tournament over there, and it is incredible. The idea of the deck is to use Venusaur and you just tank. It never dies, right? You use Venusaur and you go in Solar Beam, eventually Evergreen GX, heal itself off. Shaymin's Floral Heal heals the Venusaur every turn, as well as potions and stuff like that. And then you hammer away your opponent's energy. What's not to love about that? You pretty much can just stomp anything that can't one-hit KO the Venusaur, basically anything that is not a fire deck. So I was completely blown away by the viability of the Venusaur Tag Team deck. I think that it has a lot of potential in the current metagame, and any deck not prepared for it could definitely succumb to the tankiness of Venusaur. When you combine that 270 hit points with cards like Aether Paradise, also the Life Forest Prism Star, right? There are just so many options to just not let your Venusaur get KO'd as it just continues chugging away throughout the course of the game. Very impressed by this deck overall, and I think it's definitely going to be one to look out for as the metagame evolves. Now, with 4 Venusaur, that's the only real Pokemon in the deck. You play 4 Venusaur Celebi Tag Team GXs and then 3 little Shaymins. And I guess the Shaymins can get knocked out eventually, but you could shuffle them back in. Starting Shaymin's a little bit of a bummer, which is why we play 4 Venusaur and only 3 copies of Shaymin, because we would much rather start Venusaur. You're not really trying to get another Pokemon in the active position. You just want the Venusaur to stay active the entire time. Now, what's crazy about Aether Paradise is that it stops bench damage as well. So Flying Flip effectively does nothing to this deck, which is completely wild. We also play Acro Bike. We play Judge Whistle. Judge Whistle's a super cool card, just allowing you to draw a card. It kind of makes your deck a little bit smaller by allowing you to draw a card, and you could also get Judges back from the discard pile. And the fact that Venusaur kind of acts as this almost Lysander's trump card kind of card, right? We haven't seen a card quite like it. I mean, there is, of course, Gardevoir GX, who shuffles 10 cards back in. Venusaur will shuffle the entire discard back into the deck. Last time we had an effect like that, Lysander's trump card, that card ended up getting banned. Now, Venusaur, of course, is not as powerful as Lysander's trump card. Speaking of Venusaur, here she is. Check her out. This thing is a boss. Now, you could play Venusaur with, like, you know, the Sceptile and things like that. If you were worried about Blacephalon, certainly an option. I think I just like Guzma here, and that way I just get my Venusaur into the active position. That, or I could Sophocles away some things. I definitely want the Aether Paradise, but I don't really need to play too many of these cards. The one thing I need to do is I need to attach this double colorless energy. I will go for my crushing hammers as well. So we're going to hit that. That's good. And then we'll just put this into play. And I'll see if maybe I top deck something that I would rather do next turn. Then I could just Guzma. I could Sophocles away a crushing hammer, I guess. But we're just going to Guzma first. So I'll do that. And then next turn, I'll consider using Sophocles with whatever my top deck is to draw some more cards. I definitely want to get my hands on a Grass Energy so that we could start to use Pollen Hazard. Getting my Aether bump there is a little bit of a bummer. Obviously, the Shrine of Punishment is going to do some damage to my Venusaur over the course of the next few turns. So we're definitely looking for a counter stadium here too. Now the Venusaur is not going to sustain any damage. I can just heal this with my Shaymin and it is no problem whatsoever. I could just be patient, heal this thing, and go for the crushing hammer. Going for the crushing hammer is a little bit greedy here though, because then I leave myself in a situation where I can't Sophocles. So I think we just want to Sophocles both these cards away and draw 4 new cards. And I'm really glad that I did. We got both things that we really wanted this turn. We've got the Aether to counter. We've got another Celebi Venusaur. And I'm going to hold off on getting another Shaymin there because I want to really stagger my Shaymins to make sure that they don't all get just smoked by this. Don't show me these things. I know what burn does. All right, I got a new computer. We got new computer problems over here. Getting all the pop-up notifications for different things like poison, burn, confused. I know what those do. But yes, I want to stagger them to make sure all my Shaymins don't get knocked out in the same turn. It looks like I'm playing some sort of spread deck. And fortunately for me, spread decks really don't do anything against Venusaur. I have no problems making sure that Venusaur goes the distance against a spread deck. We can see how good this Judge Whistle is. I could just go grab the Judge out my discard pile. I'll get myself another Shaymin as well. And I love the consistency of this card. We'll Judge Whistle, get a Judge from my discard pile into my hand. Super cool engine. I didn't think that this Judge Whistle engine had any sort of viability. Really, I definitely discounted that. But seeing it in action, this is great. And you can see how quickly we just ramped up against this Tapu Koko deck. They are not going to get to do anything to us. It is going to be pretty much total annihilation here. I think I'll take Acro Bike again. I already have 2 Lilies in my hand. My opponent doesn't seem to be playing too many cards here. We're definitely taking the grass, and it is game time. Check this out. Solar Beam, and Tapu Koko is going down, my friends. Oh, yeah, dude. This Tapu Koko deck has got no business messing with Venusaur. I played against a Passimian deck the other day, and the Passimian ended up netting 0 damage to my Venusaur Tag Team GX. It was that much of a total annihilation. And I was blown away. I mean, should I have put Celebi Venusaur on my top 10 Pokemon cards from Team Up? Yes. Did I miss that? Absolutely. But it's cool, you know? I feel like I hit home runs on like most of them, but, you know, Celebi Venusaur definitely should have been in there. Definitely an underrated card for sure. And apparently it's been doing big things in Japan and has a lot of potential. So definitely interested to see how this card shakes up the metagame. How can decks respond to a card like this that just takes no damage turn after turn? It's pretty insane. So what kind of cards can beat Celebi Venusaur? Obviously, Blacephalon is an option. Charizard decks, I mean, I don't know that Charizard is going to be very good, but Charizard decks could definitely beat Celebi Venusaur, right? Here we go, just another free knockout. My opponent didn't even flying flip. I don't know quite what they're waiting for. I think they didn't want a flying flip for just 40 damage. They thought that would have like maybe felt bad, so they decided against it. I'm just going to Lillie here, and we've got the final grass energy that we need. So this is amazing. I'm not going to GX yet. There's no point in GXing. I just will run this deck straight off the board. And that's what's crazy about the Celebi Venusaur deck is that if a deck is not prepared for it, it stands zero chance. It's not close. All I had to do was draw into a Venusaur and start attaching energy, and it's game over. They can't do anything about it. With these Shaymins in play, I mean, I'm just negating so much damage turn after turn. So what does that mean? I mean, can I even play a deck that can't beat the Venusaur deck? Maybe, I guess. Energy removal seems super good. Oh, no! This thing, right? Okay, I could get one up. They are playing the beatdown. Oh, man. This is definitely an option, right? You could do V beatdown here. Does 20 damage for each of your basic Pokemon in play. So that is something that I need to worry about for sure. Definitely just going to judge my opponent here. Probably going to, I wish I could find a Guzma. I only play a couple copies of Guzma. So I'm going to say that I need to start powering up a second Venusaur here for sure. No point in really using that Field Blower, I don't think. The Enhanced Hammer, I guess I could bop my opponent's double Colorless there on their bench. But it's just a tough situation overall. I need to find another energy to start powering up that second Venusaur so that I can deal with the V beatdown. And I guess any deck could play a V beatdown Victini as well as a counter energy, and then you have like that kind of opportunity to take out a Venusaur. But if I could power up a second Venusaur, it should kind of be, I don't know, if they could like rescue, stretch, or counter again. It is a pretty valid strategy here, so I do like that my opponent plays that. It's going to make this game much more interesting. Sure, I'll bop that there on the bench. I really want to draw some good cards here off of this Judge. And I'm not going to worry about that Field Blower because that could be good later. So we'll just limit my opponent's hand. And we got everything that we could possibly want. The Grass Energy is super good here, allowing me to just continue to start to power that thing up. I could Pollen Hazard, and we're going to be knocking out the Victini in one hit with Pollen Hazard now. So that puts even more pressure on them to have to find not only, they have to get a full bench for the V beatdown to even work, right? And then they have to find a counter energy, and then they have to also bump my Stadium, and then they have to find a choice band, I believe, as well, right? Because this is only going to do 100 damage, 160 with the choice band, so, or 130 with the choice band, 260 with weakness, and then 10 with Shrine. That's the only way they can knock this thing out. They need Shrine, counter energy, choice band, and 2 more bench Pokemon. I think that it's probably not happening. But there they go. They're just going to counter catcher up my other Venusaur here and give it a shot. I think I'm feeling pretty safe here. And with them leaving up that damage, dude, as well, means that I can easily just take this knockout with the Venusaur. I'll gladly use Erika's Hospitality, draw me some more cards, and now we're just cruising, right? Pollen Hazard. This Tapu Koko is biting the... Oh, no, it's not biting the dust. I should have Kukui'd here. I forget about Aether literally all the time, so that is a little bit of a bummer. We're like 10 damage shy. I always forget Aether when comboed with Tapu Koko. I thought I for sure had more than enough to knock that thing out. It shouldn't matter either way. We are for sure just going to like run through this deck. I don't think that there's any sort of miscalculation with Aether Paradise is going to stop that. I'm not going to lie. That's just like learning pains here. Aether Paradise definitely works on Tapu Koko, so I always forget about that. But it's all good. We're going to learn from our mistakes here and just go in and get a netball. The netball is going to net me that Grass Energy, so now I have 2 fully powered Venusaurs and can easily just Solar Beam turn after turn, while my opponent probably sits here wondering if they could scoop yet. They do have an energy on that Victini, but honestly, the Victini is biting the dust as soon as it comes into the active, so I don't think that that's a super valid strategy either. So what do we do here? I think Celebi Venusaur could beat probably most things. I mean, my opponent just scooped. They ain't got it. They even had a fire attacker in that deck, and it didn't do anything. We'll roll it one more time here with the Venusaur deck. I've seen some lists trying to play the Sceptile, like I said. I've also seen some lists try to play maybe the knee pads. I call them knee pads. They're the buff padding, I guess. But the knee pads are also something that some people have played. They give Pokemon with 4 retreat costs plus 50 hit points, which is pretty crazy, but as you saw, it's kind of unnecessary. Venusaur doesn't need all that action. It's got enough beefiness, you know, with the Shaymins and some potions and all of that, and the GX attack that you don't really need to play the buff padding. I think that's probably like a win more card. We're gonna be going first here. Let's see, who can we trample over with our giant leafy boy here. Started Shaymin again. That's a little bit of a bummer, but I'm loving this opening hand with the Nest Ball Net Ball combo. That means I can get a Venusaur and a Grass Energy right off rip there, and then Sophocles as well. And the cool thing about Sophocles is that you don't really mind discarding cards all too much, because you could just shuffle them back in with Venusaur and that GX attack later in the game. So it looks like I'm playing against some sort of water deck. I do really like this Articuno. I think it's a very cool card. I'm definitely going to get a Venusaur here to start. And then the Grass Energy 2 seems very powerful, so I'll get that. And then since I am playing against a water deck, I assume there's going to be no special energy. So I'll just Sophocles away the Potion and the Enhanced Hammer there and draw 4 cards. Get myself that grass, that's good. And we're just like kind of on a mission to find myself a, we definitely want a Guzma here to get that Venusaur into the active. So that's good. I don't really think that I need all too much else here, so I'm just going to pass to my opponent. And then next turn, we'll probably end up either using Erika's Hospitality or Sophocles. Erika's is, I mean, not only, I love Erika's in this deck because she's the grass trainer, right? So, like, getting to play the grass trainer in the grass deck feels really, really dope, right? I'm super into that. But then also, she's just very good in this deck. You really want to just continue drawing off the top and just like raw draw power. I think Sophocles in combination with Erika's Hospitality and Kukui just allows you to see so many cards off the top of your deck. And then Judge Whistle as well, Acro Bike, all these cards draw cards off the top of your deck. So it's very, very good. Let's go in here and see what we can do. We're not attacking this turn. My opponent's playing Blastoise and Naganadel and this dude. That is crazy. Crazy, crazy. All right, and this allows you to move 2 energy from this Pokemon, one of your bench Pokemon. As long as Pokemon is your active Pokemon, prevent all effects that done to your bench water Pokemon. So I can't Guzma any water Pokemon. That's fair. I think I'm going to Sophocles. We'll Acro Bike first. See if I get the Guzma. That would be really good. Do not get Guzma, but Judge seems, I could get Judge back with Judge Whistle, I guess. I think the Lillie is like not very good anymore, so I'm just going to discard the Lillie, and then I'll probably just Judge Whistle and draw a card with that. I did not get Guzma. So I'm feeling probably Sophocles here. We'll Sophocles away the Nest Ball and the Judge. I saved that Nest Ball because it didn't really feel like the play. And then you never know with your opponent's decks whether or not they're going to be playing Crushing Hammers. So since I'm not attacking, there's no reason, or you never know if they're going to play an Enhanced Hammer. Like, especially on PTCGO, you see Enhanced Hammers come out the craziest spots, right? So I will gladly just attach that Grass Energy here since I'm not going to be attacking this turn. And we'll wait until next turn to Guzma probably one of these Naganadels here since we can't Guzma any sort of water Pokemon because of Articuno's ability. And we'll go from there. So they're going to go ahead and Cynthia draw a fresh hand of 6 and see what they can find. Presumably, they're looking for, you know, some energy in the discard pile. They already got that. If they can get this, and then if they have a Quagsire, they'll be able to knock out my Shaymin with that Articuno's Cold Cyclone. But they did not get what they needed. So I am going to Guzma Town. We just have it like that. Let's bring this fella up. And unfortunately, yeah, that Articuno is not gonna save you from it's not gonna save you from getting your Naganadels, Guzman. We'll draw another card here. I don't think that I'm going to need another Venusaur. That might be a little bit greedy, but definitely going to take the Crushing Hammer there. And I feel like I don't really need to Crushing Hammer anything. We're just going to Solar Beam here and wait on my Crushing Hammers to see if maybe there becomes a better target here going forward. And nope, they're just going to scoop it up too. So I'll do one more here with the busted Venusaur deck. They're like, no, just get me out of here. And I feel like you're probably going to get a decent amount of scoops on PTCGO when people just realize that they just can't deal with what the Rock is cooking over here. They just can't beat Venusaur. It feels like a stall deck, but it's like an aggressive stall deck, right? It's like an aggressive defensive deck. And when people just realize that they can't compete with the Venusaur, they'll probably just get like super salty and scoop. I know I probably would if I was up against the Venusaur deck. I'd be like, no, I'm not dealing with this, and just scoop it right on up. Third game in a row, we're starting the Shaymin, but that's fine. We're fine with it. And we got a good hand otherwise. Grass Energy's Netball. We're going to be able to go grab a Venusaur turn 1 and Sophocles into some other things. Really digging those Palo Sand sleeves that my opponent has. So very, very nice sleeves there, gentlemen. It looks like we're playing against another Blastoise deck. So let's see what the Blastoise deck can do against my Venusaur deck. Probably nothing. That's just my prediction, but we'll see. Gonna Sophocles away the Netball and that Field Blower to draw 4 more cards, and that is muy bien. Yes, we'll do this. And then I guess I don't really need all too much else right now. I think that, yep, that's about it. I'm not really trying to get anything else Guzma or anything like that. I'm just looking for my own Guzma for next turn, and I don't think, like, yeah, thinning the deck could help, I guess. So Netball, I might end up needing to use Netball for Grass Energy, though. So I think I'm just going to, we'll get one more Shaymin. I don't think that hurts. So we'll do that, and that thins our deck a little bit, and then I'm going to pass. The reason I'm going to keep the other cards is because if I run into another Sophocles, I want to keep some Sophocles fodder as well, just in case my draws are looking that way. Is this the guy? This isn't the guy I just played against. This is just somebody else who also happens to have a Blastoise Articuno deck. But unfortunately for me, it looks like my opponent might not be playing Naganadel. So there might be no option to Guzma around this Articuno, which means that Articuno is probably just going to take out my Shaymin. But you know what? To be honest, that's okay, because taking out my Shaymin is just like a, welcome to the active position Venusaur scenario. So I'm not really too concerned about that. And then once this Articuno gets burned, confused, and poisoned, gonna be having a bad time. That is for certain. So, oh no, connection. Please come back, connection. Don't do this to me. Oh, why are we in the red? How do we get disconnected from the internet? That would be a total bummer scenario. You bringing it back? Let's go, internet. All right, we're back online. Thank goodness. I'm not trying to re-roll this game. This game's going good. We've got Acro Bike. We've got Judge Whistle. I didn't discard a Judge yet. That's fine. Let's just go in with Acro Bike and see what we can find here. We got a Lillie and an Aether. I got to take the Lillie, and then we're just going to burn the rest of our hand down to draw as many cards as we can. We'll Crushing Hammer and Tails. Fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll get this and get ourselves another Shaymin, and then Netball. I guess I could probably fail the Netball. Makes the most sense. I don't need another Venusaur. I'm not going to get the Grass just to keep in my hand. I'll probably Judge Whistle here and draw a card just to see if I can... No, not a playable card. That's okay. So, cool. Let's Lillie for 5. Big ones here. And see if we can't find... well, that's okay. I guess the Aether is pretty good here, so I may play that. Judge Whistle allows me to draw another one. The Life Forest will be good eventually too. So I think that I could probably just play that, and that makes my Shaymins a little tankier, which I definitely like. And then I could just haze my opponent again with Crushing Hammer, or not, it's fine. Go ahead, Mr. Water Deck. you got the juice. Do they have the rare candy Blastoise? I actually really want to see this Blastoise in action to see if it's really gonna do anything. But it looks like they're just gonna bring up another one of my Shaymins and probably Beacon. That's fair. You know what? That's totally fine. And that means that they really don't have anything in their own hand. Ooh, well, Lord. Ooh, that is gonna be very intense. So I'm excited to see how this ends up boiling down. I'm just going to Erika's Hospitality and draw a bunch of new cards. And unfortunately, I kind of just have to wait until I find a Guzma. And I haven't quite been able to find one yet. So we're just sitting here chilling with our current situation here, current Venusaur situation. That's fine. No real reason to use the Crushing Hammer yet. I'm just gonna wait on that one. And then next turn, we do have a 4 energy Venusaur, but it's not in the active position. And we're gonna assume that with Ninetales, they will very easily be able to go and get themselves a rare candy Blastoise. Let's see, Evergreen GX does do 180 damage. So I do have the option to knock out that Ninetales with Kukui if my opponent can actually knock out my active Shaymin, which would be pretty rad. Also, I should absolutely Shrek that Wailord. If that thing ever hits the field, the Venusaur just does a ton of damage to that because it's weak to grass. So I'm not very concerned about that. Wow, with their first Power Squall, they hit 3 energy, which is insane. That means they're going to be able to Articuno my Shaymin, but because of that Aether, they're not quite getting there. So I wonder if they're going to move their water energy to the bench. I think it's May, right? No, it's move, so they have to move it. They're going to move it to Wailord, who's weak to grass. Weak to grass. Let's get this hammer time going. You get it off of that. Get out of here, Wailord. You're never going to attack, dude. Let's be real with it. I think that I really like the Aether Paradise there. That's good. So I'll probably just manually retreat this Venusaur. We know that not really getting out of this one this turn. So let's just do that. Retreat. And then I can pretty, comfortably here just Pollen Hazard. I think I want to save the... I don't know. Is there a point of saving the Kukui at this point? I could Kukui for Pollen Hazard do 70, and then plus Burn 80, 90, plus Poison 100. There actually is kind of a point to using Kukui here, so I'm just going to Kukui and see what we get. Enhanced Hammer, Grass, Life Forest, it's all good. I'll wait and see if my opponent counters my Stadium, and then we're just going to go in with Pollen Hazard here. So the point of this Kukui here is if they don't get themselves out of the active position, then the idea is, right, that they will die going into my turn. They did heal themselves a burn, so that poison will knock out the Articuno and give me a brand new target, which I definitely want. But if they can switch that Articuno out of the active position, then it's going to be much tougher for me. And I bet you they just whiffed the Power Squall and were like, get me out of this game. All right, that's 3 games, dude. We just got 3 people to quit. That's it. That's the power of Venusaur, to be honest. You can't. If your deck can't beat it, your deck can't beat it, just period. Which is a very, very scary thing in the format. So that's it. Showed off the list at the beginning. Let me know what you guys think of Venusaur GX in the comments below. Super crazy deck. Let me know if you have any experience with the deck and how you like to build it yourself. Also, shout out to my Patreon subs again. You guys rock. Really, really appreciate all that you guys do to help support the channel. Make sure to check out FullGripGames.com. We've got Venusaurs in stock now, as well as all other team-up singles too. And then, of course, check out the Patreon, Etsy store, all of that. Teespring in the description below, as well as my Twitch channel. If you haven't given my Twitch channel a follow yet, please do that. I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and do a lot of awesome content over there as well. Y'all have a great day. Peace.